Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters, characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, we're just going to take a little look at some weird science. Weird science. Now, before we do that, remind you, I've got my two books available here, a Bizarre Brain Comics anthology with some humorous stuff, and a little bit of adventure going on there. And then there's Bizarre Brain Comics presents Heroes, which is a little more mainstream with some superhero-y stuff going on there, a little bit of horror-y stuff, and even got a Western in there. Both of them available online at Amazon, $7.99 each at Amazon, on Barnes & Noble online store, and some other online book outlets. Okay. Now, weird science. Unfortunately, I do not have the actual issues of weird science from the 1950s. I am too poor to be able to afford some of those things. But what I do have is several issues of weird science that were republished. Of course, EC books. EC is arguably probably the best or greatest comic publisher in history. It only lasted for a few years, and best known for their groundbreaking horror titles and their science fiction titles. Of course, they had all kinds of other stuff as well, including humor, which gave rise to, of course, Mad Comics, which then became Mad Magazine. Now their horror line was incredibly popular, but their science fiction was not nearly as popular. It was basically a sustainer because the writers and editors loved science fiction so much. They kept it, kept the line going, even though they had very little, was making very little money off of the thing. So. But then it's been reprinted. Now I can't remember the guy's name who has been reprinted the EC comics so many times, and it's in here somewhere. It's in one of these, I think. And they start off from the Gladstone publisher, and of course it doesn't have the name here. But it doesn't matter. Who in various forms have republished. And of course, in the or actually around 1990, in the early 90s, they were being reprinted in your standard floppy comic format, which is the first opportunity that someone like me had an opportunity to get some. And I didn't get nearly as many as I would have liked. First, here we have, this is Weird Science number 1, which does not correspond to the original Weird Science numbering system at all. These were double-sized issues. So each issue had two books, the equivalent of 2 books in it. And of course, this is one of the wonderful Wally Wood, of course, where so many of the great writers and artists came out of EC, including Wally Wood, John Severin. I'm suddenly drawing a blank, but it doesn't matter here. And of course, they were anthology stuff. Al Williamson, and of course, all anthology format, and they used a lot of stuff that was based on some writers, novelists and stuff, and especially Ray Bradbury. So they adapt a lot of Ray Bradbury for both the science fiction and horror stuff. So some great. So this one has is issue number 1. Of course, there was the movie, the '80s movie Weird Science, which is, well, from what I gather, was actually very, very loosely. It was a comedy, of course, very, very loosely based on either a weird science or a weird fantasy story, but very loosely, and it was a wonderful, wonderful, funny movie. It has this is Weird Science number 2. Incredible science fiction stories, another Wally Wood cover, and lots of cool stuff in here. Oh, this is a good one with Al Williamson again, and looking like it comes right out of Flash Gordon, rather, and Joe Orlando there. All kinds of really good stuff. That's number 2 from this one, and here is number 3, another weird Wally Wood cover. These really grotesque aliens. They were good at that, and of course they were known for that. This is number 3, and see some more of the same. The Invaders, and of course, then we're I got these. Oh yeah, this is issue 4, still Wally Wood cover. Close shave, and that's all I've got of the double-sized ones from around 1990 or 91, I guess it was. Then just a couple of years later, 92, 93, 94, along in there, had another, started running them again, but this time just one issue sized. So this is first fantastic issue, Weird Science number 1, and introducing a new trend in magazines, fantastic suspense stories we dare you to read. And this is a cover by Al Feldstein, and he did a lot of the covers largely before Wally Wood started taking it over. But it was more of the same stuff. Then here is issue number 3 from this run. Our observations were correct. There is no longer any life on this planet. Featuring the new trend in magazines. As robots. Of course, again, Al Feldstein. With all kinds of art inside. And various writers. Oh, that's you know who I'm talking about. He's best known for horror. I'm drawing a blank. And of course it's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks on it. I know all these guys so well, and I just love their work. And that's issue number 3 there. Then issue number 4 in this run, another Al Feldstein cover. NBS color television receiver. Okay, it says, "Good Lord, these science fiction programs are certainly becoming ridiculous." And of course, it's not a program; it's a real thing. Oh, wonderful! I wish I had more of these, and if I get a chance, I'll get some of the collected volumes sometime in the future. And here's issue number 5, still Al Feldstein. "We've escaped just in time. The atomic war has started. All life on Earth will be destroyed. Now we scientists must find another planet and begin civilization anew. One of peace, not of war. See the Earth 500,000 years after the first atomic war." And of course, he's had letters pages too, and they were current letters pages. Issue number 6. Take a trip in science fiction. See the incredible horrors that inhabit the cloud-covered mystery planet, Venus. And it would be very difficult to for anything to be living on Venus. But that was before we knew nearly as much of Venus as we do know today. Number 6. Al Feldstein. Al Feldstein. Really weird looking aliens there. And then here we go. Number 10, and we're back with some Wally Wood covers. And of course, the Wally Wood stuff is more appealing because, well, it's just lovelier. Al Feldstein is great, but Wally Wood is just more appealing. And Wally Wood interior. Other stuff. Number 10. And then we finish up this. I think this is all or nearly all of my weird science issues. I may have a couple more floating around someplace. And then another time I'll be doing weird fantasy and weird science fantasy. So this is number 15. Again, Wally Wood. And it's a classic cover illustration. The Martians. Oh, and that's based on a Ray Bradbury story, I think. No, I guess not. That's cool. Captivity. Al Williamson, dinosaur-y type. All kinds of really good stuff. So that's all I had to share with you this time, just for some fun. Some great Wally Wood, Al Feldstein covers, and a variety of great science fiction. They just don't do science fiction comics like this anymore, of this quality, or, I mean, really at all. Nearly all the science fiction stuff that I have seen is licensed material, and and there's just. And, you know, like the anthology, they could even do something that's what I wish that they had done, is had horror, or in this case, science fiction hosts for these titles, like they did for the horror hosts for the horror titles. That would have been cool. Have a crazy mad scientist that they're telling these stories or something. But it's all good, clean fun. So I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. And remember, comics are art. Boop, 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 boop.